Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Crowley House Flower Farm and Nursery. My name is Beth. I grow here in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. We never get snow, but we're getting snow today. I thought I would go through in this video some of the seeds that that I've bought lately that we are getting ready to seed up. And then I'm gonna take you out to Crowley House, where earlier this week I ended up seeding up some of the plants and just kind of showing you some of the things that we have going on and growing in the greenhouse there. So I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, I hope your winter is going amazing like mine. Today has been kind of fun. I just threw the ball for Shyla. She is just loving the snow. Like I said, we rarely get snow here, and it has been really cold, and then we just have this little bit of snow and then freezing rain later. I don't like the freezing rain, but the snow I will take. It's absolutely beautiful. I actually started some bagels earlier this morning and just kind of cozied myself down into planning out the garden and, you know, all the fun things. I think that's one of the best things about this time of year is having days like this that just make you tuck yourself away. I don't have to go work on the farm. I got all my Valentine bouquets done yesterday, which turned out amazing, and I'm just able to enjoy planning the garden. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this video, like I said, and we'll get right into it. Shyla, are you having fun in the snow? Run! What am I doing? Oh, a pine cone. Go, Shyla, go! She's just like having a ball. Did you lose it? Oh! Ready? Set, go! Oh, you want me to throw it? So for a home gardener, I like to start my seeds, whether in small little containers like this. You can also use something like this that you recycle from when you've bought plants or something like that. You just kind of use whatever you have. The other thing that you can use is like yogurt containers. You can use solo cups. You can use anything that will hold a little bit of soil. I like to just take a nail or something and poke a little hole in the bottom so you get some good drainage in it. The other way to do things is soil blocking, which takes a little bit of practice. If you're new to doing that, watch some videos on it. The soil has to be pretty wet in order for it to stay in a compact form and not fall apart. And it just takes a little bit of learning curve, so stick with it. It's a great method that allows you to use no plastic, which is really nice if you can get away from that. This one is a larger soil blocker, and this would be one that you would use to bump your starts up into. And what bumping up means is to take the little tiny plant and move it on into a larger container. And that allows your plant to get a little bit bigger. The purpose of starting seed now is that when we go to actually move our plants out into the garden, they are at a size that are pretty robust and is going to allow us to either have flowers or vegetables sooner than if we were just to put the seed in the ground in May and grow them on. So anyways, these are some of the options that I use. Now, because I grow a little bit larger, I'm a cut production, I like to start mine in 72 cell trays. We have a tray underneath here that will collect water, and then we have, these are our individual cells. I don't know, I like that system. It works really well, and I think that's the whole idea with gardening and starting seeds. You do what works for you. I'm going to just go through some of the seeds I'm starting right now, which most of them are going to be my brassicas and kale and Swiss chard. We've got some broccoli that we're gonna do and some cabbage. The other thing I'm going to be starting is a few things like some of my root vegetables, so things like turnips and parsnips, things like that. I might get going as well today. I'm also seeding up a few extras to have at our nursery, so this is allowing me to kind of do some bulk seeding of varieties. Veg grows really easy. Flowers, on the other hand, take a little bit more finesse, and some flowers are really difficult to start from seed or just take a long time to germinate. Okay, I'm gonna pull out what I'm getting, all my supplies, and then get started seeding up. So I like to keep my seeds in these they're 4 pictures actually. I mean, you can get these at any craft store. I like the colorful ones because that helps me identify between each one. And then a lot of times I'll have some sort of marker that indicates what's in here. So this has got some quinoa in it, but I think it has a lot of corn and a few things like that. So it's also just really nice to keep things organized. And then if you do keep them in a cool, dark place, it just helps, you know, keep mice and all kinds of things out of your seeds. So I've gone through and picked out a few things that I'm starting. Now, some things like these artichokes, I probably wouldn't start them unless you had a greenhouse or something like that, like I do. But those are something that I'm doing just because. I'm also starting some nasturtium, really pretty, both of these, because I'm going to be growing them on here in the greenhouse. So those are both something that is just for me. But if I was a home gardener and growing for this video, I would be looking for things like broccoli, beets. I'm gonna do some lettuces, you know, things that like it naturally cold outside. So I have some lettuces I'm doing. I am gonna do in some collard greens and then some kale. So kale, as you can tell from this photo, this is from Baker Creek. It's got frost on it. It does like it cold. So that is something that I'll be doing. And then a few cabbages along with a couple different, this is a, like a little bit different broccoli that, you know, just trying out different things. The one herb that I'm doing right now is cilantro. And I think that a lot of people think, oh, cilantro is something that is, you know, should be grown in hot weather, but actually it needs to be started now. It likes it cold. So parsnips are another thing I'm growing, and then some spinach I'm starting now, and another type of kale, which we use a lot of this one here. So anyways, I'm gonna get to seeding. So I have a whole bunch of these little tags, but you can use anything for just putting, marking what you have. I've done tape before. I have done, you know, you can take those blinds and cut them up. I don't find those ever anymore. You can use just like the popsicle sticks, anything like that. I find with these guys, I can reuse them if I use a pencil that has an eraser so that I'll write the name. A lot of times the other thing I'm putting on it is the date that I sewed it, the name, and then also I do something really weird. So, well, it's not weird, but I put like a star at the top if it needs, like if the seed is surface sown and you don't want to disturb the soil top too much, so that if I am misting the top of it instead of just directly watering. And the reason I do that is because we have multiple people that come in here and do water from time to time, and that just indicates to everybody that that needs just extra care not to disturb the top of the soil until the seed has germinated. So just a little trick that I do there. So yeah, reading a seed packet, you just want to make sure that some companies are better than others with just allowing you to read a little bit easier. This is Baker Creek, and they have the information along the side. For whatever reason, when I first started growing with them, I didn't realize that. I mean, it was just like, duh, it's there, but I just didn't see it. And this one says, so this is the spinach Bloomsdale Long Standard. And so this one just kind of says, you know, there's information, like a lot of times there's a beautiful picture on the outside, says the name of it, and then kind of gives you a little bit of the description about it. And this says, the old standard since 1925, better in hot weather than most, glossy green leaves, delicious. Planting instructions, so early in spring, heat will eventually cause spinach to bolt. So this is why we're starting this early, is so that we can enjoy that spinach, and I can freeze some of it, you know, you blanch it, freeze it, so that we can have it for soups in the winter. So I want to just try and grow as much as I can to get our freezer full. You can also sow this late summer and early fall for another round of beautiful spinach. It also says like where it was packed, and a lot of times they'll have like a germination rate on it, which would tell you like it has a 98% germination rate. So that just means that 98% of your seed that you're sowing are going to germinate, and then you have the rest of it that might not. Sometimes you'll get 100% and you're just like, wow, I'm so great at this. And yeah, that only happens once, just FYI. This is really kind of cool. So here, all the way across, it kind of gives us this information. Sprout in 7 to 14 days. That's when you're supposed to get those seedlings emerging. And sometimes I will write that on my little tags so that, like, especially if you're a new gardener and you're like, did I fail? You can put on there, oh, it's 7 to 14 days. It's only been 6 days and I haven't seen anything yet. I need to just wait and be patient. The hardest thing about gardening is being patient. So the ideal temperature for them to germinate at is 45 to 75 degrees. And this is ideal in my, it's unheated greenhouse right now, but the greenhouse, hopefully our new heater will be fixed. We had to get a new fan motor for it. But once that heater clicks on, then night temperatures won't go below 45 in here. 42, sorry. Go below 42. This has seed depth. That's the amount from the top of the soil down where your seed is going to go. And that says 1/2 inch. Plant spacing on here is 6 to 8 inches apart. So that's when you actually have your little start and you put it into the soil. And then frost hardy. Yes, and that's why we're starting it in February, is because it can handle some frost and actually makes your vegetable taste a little bit better. So this also has on here, which is really kind of cool, is the sun amount required for it to actually do well. And this says 3 to 10 hours. I don't always see that on a seed packet, but that's really nice. Now, a lot of times you'll have seed packets that will say, like this is from Botanical Interest. This is a flower, and it will say, you know, seed 2 to 4 weeks before last frost date. When to start, you know, kind of like indoor sowing versus outdoor sowing. And then it's got, you know, a description of the flowers. It says on here it's deer and rabbit resistant. So if you have deer and rabbit issues, you know, then you need to know that. I know that Johnny's Seed Company, when you're on their catalog, it will actually have a lot of the little emblems, and a lot of catalogs will do that whether or not they are deer resistant, which is really helpful if you've moved to a new property like our Orchard Heights property where we suffer from deer and rabbits up there as well. Just kind of now I'm like, oh, I can't plant that. Where here at the Crowley house, we don't have those issues. So anyways, that's kind of, you know, just take the time to read your package on the back, understand a little bit of like, how much soil goes over the top of it and that kind of thing. But in the end, I mean, just get some seeds going, get a garden going. This is the time of year. I mean, we do it because we love the fresh eating of a vegetable garden, but we also love having food security and being able to put food away on the pantry. A lot of times I'm so busy in the season that I love just going downstairs into the pantry, pulling what I have to create a meal that is really, really nutritious. And I don't know, there's a lot of pride that goes into being able to store your own food and just be able to be, you know, I'm gonna make fast food tonight and it's already done downstairs and I just have to heat up this thing of soup or whatever it is that I'm putting together. So that's the reason we are starting seeds now, and you can tell I'm really excited about it because it is a really exciting thing. Anyways, leave me a comment below let me know when you're going to be planning on starting seeds or what you're starting first. This time of year for us, we are starting some of these things that I just went over with you with the kale and the Swiss chard, the spinaches and things like that. We're starting them in a greenhouse. If you were in the home, you would want to make sure that you had some sort of grow rack with a lighting or some source of heat, a heat mat if you wanted one. If it was in your house, obviously it's pretty warm in there. Just lights are sufficient. Things that you can plant outdoors right now are peas and fava beans. And, you know, peas are... they're one of those things, like if you have little kids, just get them out there to plant some peas. You have to do a little bit of, at least in my neck of the woods, We have birds that like to peck at them, pull them up. We have slugs this time of year. We've got birds that like to pull them out as well. So doing some preventative, like putting up some of the tape that, you know, repels, it's kind of like shiny, that repels the birds, or sometimes we put netting over it, bird netting, or, you know, with mice, there's not much you can do. You just kind of have to go out there and check. You can do some sluggo, that is an organic slug bait for the slugs that are going to come in. There's also some other tricks you can do with beer cans turned upside down. I don't know. There's all kinds of things. But the main part is, you know, when we do have pressure like that I overseed a little bit, and then I'm able to kind of go through and weed out anything that maybe got too close together or something like that. So this seed packet for the collard greens are from Haas Tools, which is a small company, I believe out of Alabama? No, Georgia. Sorry, totally wrong. Anyways, they're really nice because they also have like really simple seed starting instructions. I like how simple this is. So planting depth is 1/4 inch, seed spacing 1/2 inch. So when we plant them out into the soil, we're just gonna do 1/2 inch apart. Row spacing 2 to 3 feet, because they get pretty big. Days to maturity 74, so I should expect from the time that I'm planting them now to the time that I'm, it's probably gonna be a little bit longer than that since we're starting them indoors, but it should be around 74 days till they become full maturity. And then this has a 92% germination rate. So that's what I was talking about when we have the rate of the germination being a little bit higher. So these seeds are not very hard to seed because they're nice and, I don't know, they're just easy. So it goes pretty quickly. So let's get them in the soil. So I have all my labels done, and so I like to just stick them in to my tray before I put the seed in. And these are just 1/4 inch under the way, so I just kind of like to get my tray nice and ready for it. Sometimes when you're filling trays, you can actually think you filled it, but you didn't. And especially on this outside edge, you can tell that I'm pushing down a little bit too hard or too far. And so I'm just needing to fill it a little bit more. So I have a little bit of soil that I'm just gonna sprinkle over the top because all 3 of these have similar depth height, which was they all do, not similar, but all of them have the same planting depth, which was 1/4 inch. So I'm just gonna smooth that over. So now my tray is ready to just go get a little water. I like to just mist it, and then I'll put a little bit of water underneath the tray, especially if you have these indoors. If you have trays indoors, you wanna make sure that your tray on the bottom doesn't have any holes. Otherwise, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I have just taken a tray that I've used before indoors, and it's over time, because it's plastic, will kind of leak through or get a little pinhole or something, and then there's a big mess on the floor. So just maybe check it before you go indoors with your tray. So out here in the greenhouse, I don't really have to worry about that too much, just because, you know, it's a greenhouse. One nice perk about having one. So anyways, I'm gonna get this tray just watered in, and then this is ready to go. These they're kale and Swiss chard, which I totally forgot to put in the last one, is going to be for the home gardens. The other ones, the ones that I'm going to get ready for the nursery, are going to go into these 6-pack trays, which would be really nice for somebody just to have 6 plants, and then that allows them to have the option of giving one away to a friend, or if one dies, they have a replacement. So, all right, that was easy. Those seeds are really fun. They just go right in.
So we're just finishing up our Valentine's Day orders today. And this one is actually getting shipped up to Seattle. Look how pretty these are. Got ranunculus, anemones, and some roses, some other fun little foliages that are just here locally on the farm. But yeah, we do ship around quite a bit actually. We do a CSA, which is new to us, which pretty much is a community supported agriculture. So pretty much if you guys want to support us and want fresh flowers sent to your doorstep that you know exactly where they came from, you guys can check out on our website. We're selling CSA by the season, so we have our spring season now right now, and pretty much you'll get bouquets twice a month. Pretty exciting, pretty fun for us to do, and you'll get to get a beautiful bouquet made directly from me, which is kind of cool.
Well, I'm thankful that I got all my seeds tucked into the warm greenhouse over at Crowley House, because we have a snowstorm and actually some ice coming later today. So snow's not that bad. I mean, Syla is having an absolute blast in it. Here at the Orchard Heights house, we're at a higher elevation, so we tend to get snow every year. We're down at Crowley House, we're like below sea level, I think, and just slightly or right at sea level. So we tend to just get, you know, a little bit of snow. It's a lot warmer down there. I don't know. It's just different climate, where up here, I think I want to say we're not quite at 2,000 feet. Not completely sure. I will have to ask my dad what we are at, but I know we're at quite a bit higher elevation, and so we tend to get the brunt of any winter storm that comes through the Willamette Valley. I have tucked myself into the little greenhouse that we're restoring. If you missed those videos, I'll try and link them below so you can check those out. They're kind of fun to see the starting point. We haven't really worked on this greenhouse since the last video that we did, partly because we get into the season of seed starting, like you saw. So what I'm doing today is I ended up, after seeding up some of those early plants, ooh, the wind is starting to pick up. After seeding some of those plants, I ended up going through in my seed starting schedule and just all the stuff that is in my little containers that we use, and ordering a few things, and they came. So I thought I would just go through, unbox some of my seeds that came in the mail. I kind of forgot what I ordered, but I'm sure there was rhyme and reason to it, and I thought I would just go through those really quick with you here in the little greenhouse. So let me go and get the boxes, because I ended up playing with Shy. She was absolutely loving the snow, and I couldn't help it but throw the ball, and thankfully the ball's orange so it doesn't get lost. But this morning I tried to capture it on video, but it had just started snowing probably at like 6 this morning, and she is just like running and running and running, just having so much fun. And I thought, okay, I've got to get my woolies on and come outside and just let her have some fun in the snow today. I ended up letting the chickens and the geese and duck out, and I guess that's opposite. Goose, Gertrude, which is Braden's goose, and the ducks out, but they just didn't want to come out and play. So Shyla had no one but me. So anyways, okay, I'm gonna go run and grab my boxes, and then we'll get set up to go through those. Okay, the first package came from Park Seed. I really like Park Seed just because they have a lot of plants that you could plant out into your garden, or seeds that you can plant out into your garden as well as plants. If you are somebody like me that likes to seed up stuff that's for your garden, your flower garden especially, they're just a really great way to go, and it just saves a little bit of money instead of buying plants. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming. I don't know about you. Leave me a comment below if you've ever been just, you know, you can get garden envy. There are folks that just have that green thumb, and I see myself as having a green thumb, but I also see myself with a lot of failures. But I think folks that you see have a green thumb do have a lot of failures, and whether or not they're very good at telling you that or showing you that is another story. There are people on YouTube and Instagram that are fantastic at showing all the elements of growing from seed, and those are the people that warm my heart, because it makes me feel just so normal. Okay, so I thought I'd just run through these really quick with you. some ornamental oregano, and this is caramel. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. You guys all bear with me. Korigami hybrid. It's spelled Kirigami, and it's a hybrid, so that'll be kind of fun. Dichondria Silver Falls. That's a fun one. A lot of you guys I've seen grow things like that, or have them in, you know, pots and things like that. Here is Salvia Big Blue. So I think there's 10 seeds. So, you know, if you're putting together a little cutting garden, amazing, right? This is all for the cutting garden. This is not for sale. Or cut. I might cut on it to do like arrangements and stuff like that. I'm actually doing a talk at the Portland Home and Garden Show this year on cutting gardens. So if you happen to be going to that and you're local here in the Pacific Northwest, I'll be on I forgot what stage, but I'll be on the stage, I think at 2:00 after Francois Weeks, who is an amazing floral designer and artist. She's going to be talking several talks and demonstrations and things like that. I'm just doing a jar posy class, and we're pulling all the things that we have available on our farm, and we're teaching that. And then I'm talking on cutting gardens, and I'm going through kind of the things that people ask me the most about. Like, you know, you create this beautiful cutting garden and you just don't want to cut your blooms. You know, how you get over that. So we're going to be going into depth on that. So next is a coleus. This is a giant expedition complete mix. So we'll see how that one turns out. Geranium Maverick Mix, which I grew the geranium last year. And in fact, I have the apple blossom on my kitchen table right now, and it's blooming. I mean, stunner. I love them because they're so giving in the garden. And actually, that is one that I dug up from the Crowley house and potted into just a terracotta pot. And I had it indoors, and it's blooming. And oh, my heart is so blessed by that. So that's a good one to get in the ground. And that's one that you want to start now. Salvia Summer Jewels Pink. So that'll be kind of a fun one. Impatience. And this is Solarscapes White Shimmer F1. So the F1 just means like the timing of a flower when it blooms. Usually F1 blooms sooner than like a F2, 3, 4, or different class. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to those things. Okay, this is a begonia, and it's a pelleted seed. So I've never grown, this is non-stop mix, so I thought that would be kind of fun. Never grown those before. This is Celosia Premium Sun Coral Candy. All right, and then we have Alyssum Easter Bonnet Deep Pink. That'll be kind of fun. And then Joe Pyeweed. And I know that Joe Pyeweed can get away from a lot of folks, and that is true. You have to keep it in check. Let's see, is that everything? Oh no, I have more from them. Salvia Fairy Queen, really fun. We have Salvia Evolution White. Impatience Shady Lady 2 mix. Ooh, Shady Lady. Impatience Extreme Utopia mix. And then a Begonia Dragon Wing Pink. So that'll be kind of fun. This is just all for fun and because I needed something to do more on my hands than all the other things I do. Actually, part of it is up here at the Orchard Heights house, you know, monies are limited. And so I'm trying to like divide, grow from seed, do all those things, and just do it as cheaply as possible and create these gardens and kind of take you guys along as we do it. Okay, so Riley ordered a few things from Baker Creek. Now, Baker Creek is an heirloom seed company, so they are seeds that you can collect for the most part and reseed the next year if you want, so you can do some fun things with that. So she just likes Baker Creek a lot, and she's just had really good success. So she does a lot of our vegetable gardening. She needed some pickling cucumbers. This one is Parisian pickling. Looks pretty good. A cucumber dar, I want to say. This one is interesting. Superb new Polish variety, all-purpose, slicing pickling type. Bush plants are downy mildew resistant. Attractive, brightly striped exterior. So it does kind of have that stripe on it. Really fun. Okay, speaking of stripes, we've grown this one before. Love it for floral design and for fall. So we do grow a lot of little pumpkins and things like that that we can use in designing. And this is called Sweet Dumpling. Yes, it is. But it is one of the sweetest. 1 pound fruit in white striped with green, sweet, tender orange flesh. So you can eat these as well. Wouldn't that be fun to like put a little soup in it or something this fall? They gave us some free seeds. They always do that. Very generous of them. This is a Chinese cabbage garnet. I've never had had luck with Chinese cabbage? If you have, maybe give me a tip down below, because I would love to grab that, because Riley does like to make kimchi, so it'll be kind of a fun one. And I think she's planning on doing that this year, and I'm hoping to take you guys along because my sister-in-law makes the most amazing kimchi, and she said she would teach us. So, rattlesnake pole beans. I believe some of you in the South grow these, and I've never done it before. So 65 days to maturity, flavorful, tender purple, streaking pods, speckled seeds are popular in soups. Takes heat and humidity, and that's why you grow it in the South. But this looks really fun. I think maybe, I don't know. So this is like I think a shelling bean. Not telling you for sure. I'm not really good with those things because Riley is, and I don't need to know everything. We love soup, so this is probably why she got that. So now she got a couple tomatoes, and this is a tomato white currant. Look at that coloring. Isn't that fun? That would be fun in a salad. This is a super sweet, tiny fruit, barely 1 inch across, in creamy white, pale yellow, super sweet flavor. How fun. Could you imagine just a medley of tomatoes in a salad with a little bit of basil and herbs, fresh herbs from the garden, just mingled in with a little olive oil? Oh my God. Yes, please. Let's do it. Okay. Raspberry liana. This one looks fun. 75 to 85 days. So we do need to get these started for us. We start them indoors, and then we have some nice big plants. I will be starting these. I could probably do it today, but stunning Russian variety. So it looks like maybe it might be able to take some cold. Raspberry pink fruit of medium size, firm flesh, is very sweet and richly flavored, nearly flawless fruit. It's perfect for marketing. So if you had a market garden, I think that would be perfect. But if you wanted to grow perfect tomatoes for yourself, highly recommend that one. We'll let you know. We're gonna do a tomato test as well. Okay, I'm not sure how to say this one, but I'm gonna butcher it again. Castelloluto Genovis. It is that one. So Costolutovese. I'm probably butchering it, but this one is an old Italian variety. That's probably why I can't. I'm just, I'm not fluent in Latin. Favorite. It's an Italian favorite that has been around since the early 19th century. Intensively flavorful fruit are rather flattened, quite attractive, ribbed, and eaten fresh or preserved. Okay. Not sure why she got that one. Okay, so the last of the tomatoes is spoon tomatoes. These are we have a whole bunch started already because we grow this actually as a crop that we sell to other florists and we use in design. Spoon tomatoes are amazing. We get so many requests. I could grow so much of this, and I felt like just doing a second succession sowing. They're literally tiny little tomatoes. So this says 65 to 70 days to maturity, micro mini fruit. Yes, indeed. Maybe the world's tiniest tomato. Fire engine red fruit is arranged in beautifully super long trusses. Bold classic red, tangy tomato flavor. Spoon tomatoes pop when you bite into them. A delightful treat. So this one is kind of cool because this says start indoors 6 to 10 weeks before last frost. So that's why we start ours indoors. And mid-November is the perfect time to be doing that. But yeah, if you are somebody that loves floral designing or anything, spoon tomatoes, grab one of those and pop them in, or a couple of them, and you can just have these amazing tendrils. We kind of cut them when they kind of turn a little bit of their, almost like they're blushing, and then they go into green. Perfect time to cut. Also, tomatoes have any tomato you can use, but they have a very long face life. I'm supposed to speak next week, and I've been really sick. I'm finally on antibiotics. I have an upper respiratory infection, and I've been dealing with this for about 3 weeks. The last one I got is also for the garden. This is a marigold, and I believe Johnny Seeds was sold out of it, but this is kind of a white, creamy marigold. And I love these in the garden. They're just, and they do really well, vase life for a cut bouquet, or, because we do a lot of farmers markets and things like that, but in the fall, amazing. That is my list from Baker Creek. The other thing I ordered, which I have a ton of sweet peas growing in the hoop house right now, and we started those back in fall. We always do, and they are huge already and doing great. We fertilize them every week, and they just grow amazing. Most of those varieties are for weddings, We grow the whites, the peach, one that, what is it called? One that is kind of a lavender and white, one that's a lavender and cream, and they just are beautiful. But I'm going to be doing actually a video on sweet peas next week, and so just kind of talking about how to grow them, what to do, because this is the time of year that you want to start any type of pea. Sweet peas, peas for the garden, eating, shelling peas, all the things. I ended up ordering just a few more from Enchanted Sweet Peas. Now, they're down in California, love their seed. I've always had really good luck with their seed. I've also ordered some from overseas, but a lot of times you can never guarantee that you're going to get your seeds. So she does an amazing job. There are a few other growers starting to pop up around in the area, one in Washington and a couple other places. We've sold sweet peas before. I think we had, last year we had King Ransoms available. This year I've planted a whole bunch of King Ransoms just to get seed off of it and a few other things, but just my favorites, you know, to sell online just to our people that love us. And but yeah, I ordered a few more. I'm going to be seeding those next week and taking you along as I do so, and then showing you the process and all the things that we do from every step. We do have some videos on growing sweet peas and us planting them in the greenhouse, but the video I'm going to do is more on planting them for your garden. All right, well, that is it. I'm thankful I have my seed starting going and got my tomatoes going, all the things that are winter, all the things that are cold, tolerant, hardy, the things that I need to get out into the garden first. I hope you are getting out and starting some seed. If you are, let me know down below in the comments what you have started and what are your favorite tomato varieties. I'd love to hear that. And it would be fun to compare notes later and do like a whole tomato video. Shyla, you look horrible. Look at all those snowballs on you. Have you been having fun? Look at that tail wagging. Yes, you have. Okay, now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna clean you up. You even have some sedum. Did you dig up some sedum? Yes. Oh my gosh. You're a mess. You are. All right, until next time, much success in all you do and grow, and I hope to see you at the Home and Garden Show next weekend. But if not, have a wonderful week. All right, guys, bye-bye.